next blank page, it's just going to be fast array. Just what I've got written at the top. Fast array. So if you could please make that your title, that would be really helpful. Fast array. We've been creating arrays in our math choice board. Can someone remind me what is an array? Talk about a fast array, but it might be helpful if we know what an array is. Colby, what's an array?
It's like a group of dots or squares that have columns and
What is that other one called? Is that groups? It is a synonym for groups. We got columns and rows. Very good. Circle that word array. Circle that word array. The big thing that we have to remember with array is exactly what Colby said. We are arranging our groups into rows and columns. Rows and columns. Yeah. Not oh wow. You should probably listen. So we got rows and columns. Why would we arrange it in rows and columns? What would be the purpose? Why would we do that? Jalen?
because if we didn't arrange it in rows and columns, it would just be scattered all over the place.
Yeah. Would that be harder or easier for our brain? Yeah. We're arranging into rows and columns to make it easier for our brain to count. That's why we do it. It's a little more organized. Stop playing with your box. Okay. Now, today we're talking about a fast array because we're now going to start getting into equations that are big. It's going to be a lot of dots or squares in rows and columns. Go ahead and write this equation down. Can someone read that equation to me in English? Or it's technically an expression because there's no equal sign. Read that expression to me in English. You had to do this for Math Choice Board last week. Go for it, Bryson.
Do you want me to read the whole thing or
Just the expression.
Okay. So 5 groups of 9.
Yeah, 5 groups of 9. So we could have 5 rows with 9 columns. That is a lot of dots. So I'm going to let you do a shortcut. Instead of doing all the rows and all the dots, we're going to do one of each because I know that your brain knows, hey, there's other dots there. So this is what that's going to look like. You've written down 5 groups of 9. We're going to do a fast array next to that. So we've got 5 going across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, that would be our first row of 5. So far, so good? We would do that 8 more times for a total of 9 groups of 5. But instead, I'm just going to make my column. How many goes in my column? Carl?
5.
Nope. Think about what we're doing. 5 groups of 9. Ooh. How many 5s am I going to have? 8. Not 8. Look at my expression. Madison, how many dots am I going to have?
9.
I'm going to have 9 because I have 5 groups of 9. This one already counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So far, so good? Could I draw the rest of my dots? Sure. I, Bryson, put the water bottle on the table, thanks. Could I just imagine them? Imagine them. A fast array looks like this. That's what a fast array is. So instead of having to fill out the whole thing, we're only going to draw one row and one column. Only drawing one row and one column. Does that mean that 5 groups of 9 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13? No. There are still dots here. We just didn't draw them. Does that make sense? Only drawing one row and one column and imagining, because there's a second step, and imagining, all right. The rest of the array. So now I can imagine the rest of my dots to figure it out. How many is here? 5. How many is here? So 5, 10.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45.
Did you actually draw 45 dots figured out?
Yes.
Did we? No, we didn't.
We had to imagine.
We had to imagine them, we had to think about them, we had to know they were there, but we didn't have to draw them all. Nice little shortcut. Heidi?
Another way you could do is you could start with your hand and then put down your fifth finger and it would show 4 and 5, so that's 45.
4 and a 5 is 9.
I know, but like 40 and 5.
Do you know why that works?
No.
Let's figure out why that works before we start using that as a strategy. We'll get there. We'll get there. Let's create a fast array for 5 groups of 7. Write that equation down. Sorry, that expression down. There's no equal sign there. 5 groups of 7. What would that look like? That's not what it says. 5 groups of 7. Ariana, come do a fast array for 5 groups of 7. Can you do it by the 5 groups of 7? Or under the 5 groups of 7? Alright, let's see what Ariana comes up with. Alright. Ariana, step sideways so we can see what you did. Does that array match 5 groups of 7? Let's just double check. Alright. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does that work? Yeah. Let's count down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Does that work? Let's skip count and figure it out. Ready?
35.
So what is 5 groups of 7 worth? Stop playing with cat. On your head or off, but we're not playing with it. Alright. We already have 5 groups of 9. See if we can do 5 groups of 11. Can you just put that right here? 5 groups of 11. Write that expression down. Draw your fast array in your notebook first. So put your hands down, draw your fast array first. Jalen, come draw a 5 by 11 array, or 5 groups of an 11. Oh, sorry, fast array.
Fast array for 5 groups.
Yep, fast array for 5 groups of 11. It's weird. I don't know why it does that sometimes. All right, step out of the way so we can see. I see 5 on top. That's usually easy peasy. How many should be going down? Count yours. Make sure you have 11, not 12. Because sometimes we forget to count that first row. So count yours. Make sure you have 11, not 12. Use your fast array to skip count with me. So put your finger on your rows. Ready? What's up first?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55.
Ooh, what is 5 groups of 11 worth? Okay, 55. As we start working with bigger numbers, this might be a better strategy. Can you still draw a regular array? Yes. Just remember, you have to be very neat. The same number in every row, and that can get a little difficult to do when we start drawing 55 things. Okay? So now that we know how to draw a fast array, anytime I ask for an array, you can draw a fast array. Does that make sense? All right, I'm going to stop doing that. You could do a real array or a fast array. Either is fine with me. Happy? Great. All right. We're going to work on our 5s today. It's pretty easy peasy for many of us because we already know how to skip count by our 5s. Put up one finger. If I were to say 5 one time, what would I say? 2 groups of 5 is worth 10. 3 groups of 5 is worth 15.
20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50.
Could I keep going?
Yes.
Yeah, we could. We could keep going and figure out how many groups of 5. 5s are an easier one because we can use our fingers, and you guys are really good at skip counting already. Let's see what that looks like on a hundreds chart. So I'm going to give you a hundreds chart. If you would please get out a yellow crayon again. But this time we're going to look at where do our 5s skip count fall on our hundreds chart. If I'm skip counting by 5, what's the first number I'm going to say? Not a trick question. Carl? Color it in. Then what am I going to say? Jalen? 10. Color that. About 3 groups of 5. What would that be? Yeah? 15. Four groups of 5? Do it really fast. 20. Get those fingers going. We know what to do. 5 groups of 5. 25. If I didn't know how to do 6 groups of 5, what could I do? If I didn't know what 6 groups of 5 was, what could I do? Rylan?
You didn't know what 6 groups of 5 was?
Let's do it.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
There's 6 groups of 5. What was it? 30. Color it in.
Miss Norm,
John.
if I was going to help like there's 6 groups of 5, could you do like array? 6 groups of 5.
I'm noticing a pattern. What pattern are we noticing? Zach, what pattern are we noticing? We are counting by 5s, but I'm noticing a pattern in my hundreds chart. Colby, what pattern are you noticing?
That 5 plus 5 equals 10 and
I'm not counting down by 10. Not counting up by 10. Kaden, what pattern am I noticing? Okay. Kaden thinks I can just color those 2 columns. Evelyn?
I'm noticing that the second digit is always 5 and 0.
The second digit, that one's place, always ends in a 5 or a 0. Are you noticing that? Could I ever land on 72 if I'm skip counting by 5s? Could I ever land on 1,073,000?
No.
No. Did you have to do that real quick? No. Why? When I'm doing my 5s, why do I only land in numbers that end in 5 or in 0 or have a 5 or a 0 in the ones place? Why does that happen? Ariana, what do you think?
So I think because no 5 is 5. If you know 5 plus 5 equals 10, it's just like adding 10 plus 10. You just so the 5s, it's because say 70, you add 5, you have 75. You just keep on adding just 5 to 5, so it can make a 10, or it can make 35, 45, 55, 75.
Ron, did you have something to add on?
yes.
Go for it.
The reason why you're not gonna win on anything that doesn't have a 0 or a 5 is because you have like so if either you started with a 5 and you only got to make a 10, so that and that is because just you have a 5 and then the 2 5s make a 10. So instead of 15 and 20, because it's still just 2 5.
How many numbers on my hundreds chart are in each row? How many numbers are in each row? You?
10.
10. Huh. Have you noticed that every time we get to 10, we kind of change what we're counting by? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 31, 32. Have you noticed that? Every group of 10, it kind of changes. If I'm counting in groups of 5, I have 5 10s, and then it changes to the next group of 10. 5 10, 5 10. So I'm never going to have a multiple of 5, a skip count of 5. Thank you for those who are making eye contact with me and actually listening when I'm saying. That's going to end in any other digit other than 5 or 0. Because my system, my counting, my numbers are arranged in groups of 10. Go ahead and finish coloring in your hundreds chart. Yep, finish coloring in your 5s and 10s in your percentage chart.
Done.
Before we move on, we do need to fill in our multiplication chart. So turn to our mini multiplication chart so we can fill in the new facts that we've learned. What new facts did we just learn how to do? Not a trick question. Okay. Fives. Put your finger on the 5. We already know 5 groups of 0. What's 5 groups of 0?
0.
We already know 5 groups of 1. We already know 5 groups of 2. 10. What about 5 groups of 3? Write it in there. What about 5 groups of 4? 20. There we go. 5 groups of 5? 5 groups of 6? 5 groups of 7? 5 groups of 8? 40. 5 groups of 9? 5 groups of 10? Anything else I can fill out? Anything else I can fill out? Zach?
Sideways.
Why?
Because you're just counting. Because it's the same thing.
It's not the same thing. Why can I go sideways on my chart? Gia? Why can I go sideways on my chart?
Because
Yeah, what does that commutative property tell me I can do? It does not tell me it's the exact same thing. What does it tell me that I can do? Evelyn? Not numbers, switch around factors and get the same value. So now I'm going to say 0 groups of 5. What's 0 groups of 5? 1 group of 5? 2 groups of 5? 3 groups of 5? That one we got to add. What about 4 groups of 5? 5 groups of 5? Yep, we already had that one written down. 6 groups of 5? 7 groups of 5? 8 groups of 5? 9 groups of 5? 10 groups of 5? That's a lot of math facts you guys already know. These are the math facts I expect you to be able to tell me pretty quickly. You guys are good at skip counting by 2s. You're good at skip counting by 5s. You should be able to tell me those multiplication products pretty quickly. Next week. It's going to be on 2s, 5s, 0s, 1s, 2s, 5s, and 10s. Should not be super difficult. Okay? All right, crew. We do have